hope you're wearing the green today on this special presentation of the NBA on St. Patrick's Day. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Doris Burke. Also joining us from the sidelines, David Aldridge. And a moment now to look at the year-to-year scoring output and how it has been trending for Teague.
And looking at his offensive numbers from the past few years, it seems like teams around the league have kind of figured him out. He's having to work a lot harder for his points, and they haven't been coming nearly as easily as they used to.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Well, if you ask Karl Anthony Towns, his greatest strength is his versatility. He said, "My dad taught it to me at a young age, and it's made my transition at every step of my career comfortable, having the fundamentals and foundation. I don't limit myself. I try to be great at all skills." Kevin?
Yeah, terrific attitude. It makes him very tough to handle. David, thank you. We're looking forward to the center matchup tonight, Doris. What do you expect to see from these guys inside?
Well, I think there's a requisite physicality in there, certainly. At the same time, there are greater demands on big men, Kevin, than we have ever seen before. Yes, they have to be rim protectors. Yes, they have to control the paint. But now those bigs are asked to defend in space, to guard on the perimeter. Kevin, you know this. That's a tall task.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Culver the off guard with Wiggins at the 3. Vonleh and Towns the duo inside. And it's Teague in at the 1 spot. We've got D, Shorty out there at B-Train. Then there's Slim. Shot clock at 6. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for 1.
Well, that takes concentration from Jeff Teague, Kevin, right? He's got to convert through contact. Remarkable strength. Pretty good style, too. Not bad.
And Doris, for Jeff Teague, he's not expected to be the scorer on this team that he once was.
And for Teague, to me, that is a blessing, as he is much better suited as a distributor of the basketball. He's got great vision, he cut down on his turnovers, and therefore his assist numbers increased.
And so it's Teague with it. He'll bring it up for the Timberwolves. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with San Antonio.
Hey, they had their opportunities, but let's face it, they choked from the line. Hard to win that way on the road.
Well, you know this, Greg, because you played in the NBA. You've got to stand in and deliver from the free throw line, even in a tough environment, and they failed to do so.
Thompson, he's checked in for Shorty.
Well, the ability to stretch the defense from distance. Jeff Teague has it. He squares it up and releases quickly.
Offensive rebound, Aguilar, and foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. That one is on Towns.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
That one falls, so he hits both of them.
This is what makes him a challenge to stop. He will beat you from the floor, and he can also beat you from the line.
First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
Well, he's so good at finding high percentage shots. Karl Anthony Towns, even with a tough defender on him, comes through. That's pretty work.
And stolen by Wiggins. And it's Culver, top of the key. Teague for 3. Traps in the tray. Teague's got 9.
Boy, 4 for 4 to get things started. Must have been a good shoot-around this morning.
Thompson with it. Now guarded by Towns. And Thompson throws it down.
Gives the team such a great element, having a 1 guard who can get to the 10.
Certainly something every team wants to have.
Oh, you love it, Kevin. Fearless, aggressive, leaving no doubt whatsoever.
Now, here's Culver. 20 points for him last game against the Spurs in San Antonio.
You know what else impressed me? How infectious his tenacity was. Simply a wrecking ball on the boards, collected huge amounts of rebounds.
Got that one up quick.
And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from 3. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
Well, this is the first full year now for Ryan Saunders. Let's remember he was hired by Minnesota full-time after an interim stint last season. And boy, did the players love playing for him.
Here's D. That one falls. His second basket of the game. He's now 2 for 3.
Good way to start this game. You want to get him rolling as early as possible.
And you know this, Greg. He's a guy who, if he gets hot, he can carry your offense for long stretches.
And as we know, Doris, Ryan Saunders, the son of the late, great Minnesota legend, Flip Saunders.
Well, certainly the family has history with the organization, but in no way did Ryan Saunders get the job due to name only. This guy proved he can get wins from this Minnesota roster last year. For Saunders, he's known as a player development guy, and the ability to handle superstars is part and parcel to the job.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Jordan Bell's checked in for Vonleh. Robert Covington comes in for Wiggins. And it's Napier in for Jeff Teague.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Yet another player from the 2019 draft class who wasn't a top high school recruit. Jarrett Culver, 3-star guy, thin, unrefined, but in that sophomore year of college, boy, did he surprise some folks.
Free throw drops for Culver. And Greg, when you talk about Culver, the one thing he did show in high school and again showed at Texas Tech, the ability to score.
Yeah, and he creates and makes shots against great defenders. Every team in the NBA is looking for that. His jumper, his handle, his ability to move without the ball, already NBA level stuff.
Here's Baller, and there's a nice one-handed slam.
Well, if you don't take care of the ball, fellas, that's what can happen.
Absolutely, Greg. That makes the turnover even more painful.
At the end of the day, though, it's 2 points. Don't hang your heads. Let's get refocused and play with more patience.
Outside, Towns. Just 5 on the clock. Pass to Culver. Shot from free throw range. Count the bucket. And he's got a free throw coming up as well.
Yeah, and how about another trait for Culver? That elite body control, even through contact, special.
For Minnesota, they have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
And as a unit, they're shooting 78% from the line. That's a solid number to work with on the season.
Free throw drops for Culver. Doris, do you think it's more challenging for superstars in smaller markets, mid-sized markets?
You know, this is such an interesting debate in a world that has become, because of social media, so much smaller. You know, I do think that certain larger markets, LA, New York, can be a blessing and a curse. It does still feel like that media scrutiny is a little bit larger. When things are going well, it's the best thing in the world. When things aren't going so well, boy, those day-by-day question after question can probably become pretty tedious.
And it's blocked. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Minnesota making a switch here. Layman's checked in. .111 left to play in the first. He gets it in there.
And this game already taking shape as an offensive battle.
Well, the fans love it. Coaches may not like the lack of defense, but boy, the rules promote scoring, no doubt. Well, not exactly one of those big, burly power forwards, right? He depends on his leaping ability more than those guys, and it serves him just fine, Kev.
The Timberwolves shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game. The first free throw is good. And so he hits both.
And for a franchise searching for stability, it doesn't help that the Wolves have had a number of head coaching changes.
Obviously, the Wolves aren't alone in that problem, Greg. I think it can be difficult to identify just the right kind of leadership. And when you do get someone like Greg Popovich or Eric Spoelstra or Rick Carlisle, you try to hold on for dear life.
Now here's Covington. 14 points from him the last game against San Antonio.
We know this about Robert Covington. He is a team man first and foremost. Pretty pass.
Here's Baller. Bell trying to break loose. Makes it off the glass. 9 points for Baller. Timberwolves leading by 4. Here's Napier. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good.
Wow, how about the start to this game? Taking excellent shots, capitalizing on everything the defense is giving him. This is great stuff.
Here's Chan. Misses off the right iron. Here's Lehman. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
Big time shot to beat the buzzer there. My goodness.
Well, that's the perfect end to the quarter for them. You have no idea how much of an effect those buzzer beaters can have on a...
The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. Timberwolves lead by 9. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment.
You know, everyone has to get some of the sugar, you know, so making sure you're not just being a ball hog. So I'm just always trying to make sure that I'm taking wide open shots that I think everyone on the team would love for me to take if I have the opportunity, but also at the end of the day.
Well, when you're attracting, Greg, all that defensive attention, it creates opportunities for your teammates.
And Towns wants to win big. To do that, though, it's not enough to get numbers. You've got to make your teammates better as well.
And it's good to have you back with us as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day with more NBA action on 2K Sports. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
Playing inside out in that first quarter led to some high percentage shots in the paint.
It is great when you can get that established early, because to me it opens up every other aspect of your game.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. We've got the Beast, B out there with Shorty. Then there's Baller, and it's Slaughter in at the 5. And he knocks down the first one. Andrew Wiggins checked in for Robert Covington. And he makes both free throws.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
There's the pass to Lehman. Knocks it loose. Ring shot on the way. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net. And we've played just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. Here's Shorty. Napier covering, and the rejection by Towns. To the wing right side, Lehman, and again Minnesota with the triple.
And if you look at this first half, overall, they've just had the better shot selection.
And I think obviously we see the execution and the willingness to make the next pass so important.
Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut down now to just 12 on the basket from Shorty. Minnesota's gotten off 4 shots from three-point range tonight and buried every one of them. Left side, Towns. And the Timberwolves tack on 2 more.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Boy, when you think about the skill that Karl Anthony Towns has, and you realize he's just getting started in the league, his future is truly off the charts. By the midpoint of his career, we could be talking about him as one of the most skilled big men to ever play the game.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Shorty, the pass to Slaughter. Towns with the steal. Pass to Wiggins. Draws contact on the shot, and now a three-point play chance as he'll head to the line. And with the offensive tool set of Karl Anthony Towns, Doris, he could see MVP consideration in the future.
Well, what we know about Karl Anthony Towns certainly is that each and every night he has a major impact for his team. And consider, he's still growing as a player and ironing out some areas. But this guy is going to be a star for a long time, no doubt.
Of course, you and I were just talking about this as more and more players are going public with their trade requests. Do you think that's had a negative impact on the game?
Well, Kevin, I certainly think it makes long-term planning for NBA franchises a lot more difficult because contractually we are not seeing them hold true to the particular organization they may have signed that contract with. The reality is this in today's NBA. You've got to be nimble as an organization, and you have got to be attractive to them. And I mean that with great ownership, great leadership, and who are the players currently in your system. You have got to be incredibly nimble to be successful in today's NBA.
I think you're right on. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, over the last few years, there's been a lot of talk about seeding playoff teams 1 through 16, regardless of conference. Now, taking the top 16 teams is a tough sell, especially for owners whose teams are in the relatively weaker Eastern Conference. Taking 8 teams from each conference and then cross-seeding earlier than the finals is something that does seem possible down the road. The reward for fans might be a finals matchup with the 2 best teams in the league. Kevin?
Interesting ideas, David. Thank you. Minnesota leading by 18. Now Culver. He's got 10. He's looking for Wiggins and finds him.
How about the recognition from Culver? Terrific at realizing when the defense has broken down.
Gone 3 of 8 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter. Thompson passes to Beecher. Here's Money. Buries it from 3-point range.
Timeout.
Money's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Pick works well there. Not much resistance from the D.
It takes incredible effort to stay connected to the hip of the offensive player. You've got to want to work.
Robert Covington's checked in for the Timberwolves. As we approach the playoffs, let's now take a look at what is shaping up in the West. They are the favorite right now to lock up the #1 seed come playoff time, sitting in first place right now and not looking like they, are going to be slowing down at all. And, of course, Minnesota, not in the same realm right now in terms of their record. And the foul called on Mr. Moves. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Culver. And he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game.
Maybe that great start in the first quarter took something out of him because his production has fallen off.
1:11 left now here in the second. Passes it to Chan. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Off target from 3-point range.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
This is exactly what you hope for from your point guard, Jeff Teague, unselfishly pulling all the right strings.
Back to Thompson. 40 seconds left in the first half. The pass to Chan. On deep. The long distance 3 is buried. And it's 8 points for D.
Yeah, they're relying on their 3-point shooting and getting pretty good results.
Pass to Towns. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Thompson passes to Aguilar. Here's Chan. Bangs home the trifecta.
Defensively, they just look out of sync, not closing out on the threes in time.
Knocked away. And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there.
You 2 players.
Poked away, and the Timberwolves with possession here. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves with an 18-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. Their transition game has been in full effect. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. With Karl Anthony Towns. Karl, you got some scoring going in that first half. What did you take advantage of?
I'm just finding spots, not chasing it, letting it come to me. Just using what my teammates give me.
Productive half so far, Karl Anthony. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime. It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. Shaq is here. Kenny's here. You're watching the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. It's Minnesota out in front at the half. They are in control of this game, up by 18. Kenny?
They looked like they were playing an easy game of pitch and catch out there. The playmakers and finishers were in sync on every level. The assist disparity, now that was big. Now that's the reason why it's a blowout right now, and they played well.
And big fella, let's get your thoughts on the home team.
Well, they're obviously facing a hot shooting team tonight. That combined with a lackluster effort on defense, recipe for disaster, Ernie. Without major improvements defensively, this game is OVA, over.
And that's going to do it for our halftime show, sadly. Third quarter about to start. See you again after the final.
Horn. Oh, buzzer.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. And you know, Jarrett Culver has really been making it happen, guys.
And you know he's going to put up points every time out, but boy, he made it look so easy in that first half.
Now let's see if he continues that trend the rest of the way. He certainly has the talent and the endurance to do just that.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. That'll be a 5-second call.
And checking out some stats for B-Train. This last month, he has been a real positive for this team. First in three-point field goal percentage, and he's also number 2 league-wide in field goal percentage. You love his ability to score over the top of the defense.
And not only is he hitting from deep, he's doing it with great consistency. One of our league's most efficient three-point shooters. And here is Teague. Pass to Culver. And wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball. And the Timberwolves with possession here. A floater, and Towns the bucket on the assist by Culver. Culver's got his 3rd assist on the night. Gone 7 of 9 on three-pointers tonight. Outstanding mark from long range. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Conley and Towns, the duo inside. Culver the off guard with Wiggins at the 3. And it's Teague in at the 1. Kicks to Wiggins. Back to Teague. For the 3. Hits the three-point bomb. Teague's got 12 in the game.
Well, late rotation by the defense, and Wiggins has the vision to find the open man.
Passes it to D. Beyond the arc. It's good from long range.
12 straight points off of three-pointers, and the D looks shell-shocked.
Got a piece of it. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession. And let's check out a breakdown. Looking at some stats for Wiggins.
And something has really clicked for him at the free throw line. In the past 5 games, his percentage at the line is much better than it had been prior. Sometimes that's how it works. A switch flips, and all of a sudden, you're locked in.
Here's Towns. Sinks that one from the post. Towns has got 4 points this quarter.
This guy has been a catalyst for them all game long. What a job leading them to this lead.
Shorty the pass to Aguilar. And the call will be against D. That's his first foul. The Beast, he's checked in for Slim. Minnesota also making some changes. Jordan Bell's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Jake Layman for Culver. And Shabazz Napier subbed in for Jeff Teague. Stripped it away. There's the killer two-handed slam.
That's a double whammy, guys.
That's right. A great defensive play, then the emphatic stuff.
Let's see if that serves as a momentum builder. What a great sequence for this group.
Doris, you've accomplished so much in your award-winning career. What was your first experience in broadcasting?
Kevin, my first experience was I left coaching and they put Providence College women's basketball on radio. That was the first ever game I got to call. It was so cool. Tell me yours. What was the very first? Did you study this? How did you get into broadcasting?
I did. Our high school had a radio station, and the first basketball broadcast was underneath the bleachers, looking through popcorn boxes and legs of the people that were standing in the bleachers so that I could see the court from the baseline.
Amazing.
Because that's where the telephone cables were to plug in our equipment. And
wow.
I was 16 years old.
Incredible.
I remember it very well.
Incredible.
Very well. And that's a foul called on Money. That is his first foul of the game.
And still early in the period, and they're only one foul away from being over the limit.
Now here's Wiggins. Defense is right there.
Just a sloppy quarter of basketball. Turnovers now becoming an issue. And didn't do anything fancy there, but didn't need to.
Nope, his only concern right now is getting the points on the board. And I don't mean style points. Ball's knocked loose. And again, Minnesota will turn it over. Some great shooters here. Let's check out the league leaders. Well, you look at B-Train, a great player, second in the league. And, of course, D.
You can't say enough about these two guys shooting this season. Both their percentages, just incredible stuff.
Baller, covered by Wiggins. Now the pass to B-Train. At the tip, great positioning on the putback. He's got 7.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Here's Wiggins. He has 5. Here's Lehman. Wiggins passes to Lehman. Now here's Vonleh. 6 to shoot. Pass to Napier. Launches it. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Napier's got 13.
The D just sagged off just enough, and no hesitation on his part.
Baller passes to B-Train. Right wing. And there's the call on Jake Lehman. That is his first foul of the game. Both teams deciding to change it up. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. And with that shot, the Timberwolves lead is cut down to 11 on the bucket from Chan.
Over the taller defender. This is why you have to stay connected to shooters on the perimeter.
Today's player is not intimidated by size. You even give them a sliver of a window, and they're going to make that shot.
No good on the free throw. He hits the second from the line. Got nearly everything to drop this quarter. They're 7 of 8 from the floor since halftime. Here's Thompson. Banked in off the glass. Thompson's got his second basket of the game.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Pass to Vonleh. And the foul called on Mr. Moves. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. Well, Noah Vonleh was given a lot of minutes to work with last season, and he showed solid improvement.
Well, Vonleh was productive both as a scorer and a rebounder. He made great use of the opportunity presented to him. You think about it. He came into the league at such a young age. You forget he's still years away from what we should consider his prime.
Here's Chan, and blocked. That one goes careening off the glass. Now here's Napier. He's covered by Thompson. Lehman kicks to Napier. Towns dishes to Napier. He trains it as the shot clock ticks down. Lehman's got 10.
Boy, when he's this deep, it's going to be tough to stop him, especially with a smaller defender.
Here's Chan. Sinks it. What range from outside. Wow.
How about that move? You'll see very few players able to pull off. Just sensational stuff.
Here's Covington. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time. And the Timberwolves lead by 12.
You have to have the vision to find the open man. Beautiful pass.
Here's the Beast. And the lead is down inside single digits. 5 points in the game.
And really, as the three-pointers keep dropping, you get the sense that the frustration is mounting for the defense.
D, he's checked in for the Beast. Minnesota also making some changes. Culver's checked in for Jake Layman. And it's Teague in for Napier. Tipped away. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. And Culver pulls it down.
Well, we didn't see the same kind of control we're used to seeing from him. This guy is usually a tremendous finisher.
On the night, he's gone 2 for 2 at the stripe. That one is off.
And Culver's game just screams potential. Already a good scorer, rebounder, and passer. Now the next step, improving that outside shot.
And he's good on the second. 19 seconds left to play here in the third. Here's Shorty. Teague covering. Here's Shorty. And he knocks down the jumper.
Yeah, surprised he doesn't have more shot attempts. He's been accurate. You'd think he'd want to take control now with them behind.
Teague with the ball from deep three-point range. And the last second attempt does not go in for him. And so it's Minnesota in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. They're shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Well, making the game easy for your teammates, Greg. All about putting them in a position to score. That's pretty.
The fourth quarter has arrived. So good to have you with us. They've got Slim. Z out there with Big Daddy. Then it's Shorty, and it's Chan in at the 2 spot. And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up.
And how about the attitude Culver's playing with right now, doing his best to make things happen on that drive.
He hits both from the stripe. And has been brilliant in this game, 67% from the floor. This one for 3. And with that shot, the Minnesota lead is cut to just 7 on the basket from Chan.
Their ability, again, to stretch the floor, particularly in this second half.
And guys, boy, when you're hitting, it sure does work. It obviously opens up major options at the offensive end.
And they're controlling the boards, Kevin. That's +5 in that category.
And Towns gets it to go.
Well, when you see a Karl Anthony Towns who's engaged on the offensive end, he believes he can score from any spot on the floor.
The pass to Chan. 1 minute now into this fourth quarter. Good. Nothing but net.
You know, he was a non-factor in that first half, but now he's making up for lost time.
Teague surveying the D. Moving it up. A great 1-2 punch. Beautiful pass and nasty jam.
Gotta take care of the ball. They'll punish you if you're that careless.
That's right, and that's severe punishment right there.
Boy, in a tight game like this, that can change the whole tone. It helps your opponent get into a little bit of a rhythm.
Yeah, this offense is rolling. They've been assertive, but they're also playing under control.
I think the communication on offense is working at every level right now. What a run for this group.
Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points, so 1 free throw coming up. Minnesota making a switch here. Wiggins is checked in. On the free throw, no good.
And Kevin, this is why Teague is such a valuable player. You know, he's a solid shooter from anywhere, so he's able to space the defense. He can, with his handle, get inside the paint. There's a lot to like about Jeff Teague.
Culver kicks to Towns. From deep. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. B train. ties it up, and this next one could give them the lead. And that drops, so they now lead by 1. So it's the Timberwolves now. Now here's Teague. Here's Wiggins, and the shot goes down. And the Timberwolves lead by 1.
Well, he's got the wide shoulders, the natural balance. Andrew Wiggins taking the hit and finishing.
Pass to Aguilar. Here's B-Train. Passes to deep. Fires it up. Gets a very good look and converts.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Timberwolves have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the 4th. Here's Towns. Covington trying to break free. And Towns the bucket on the assist by Teague.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
The pass to B-Train. Pass to Aguilar. Good on the three-point shot. Slim's got 5 points in the quarter.
Having a lot of trouble stopping the three-point shot.
The Timberwolves trail. Pass to Culver. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Yeah, how about the body control on that one? Narrowly misses getting the deuce.
Thompson, he's checked in for Shorty. And the Timberwolves also making a change. Noah Vonleh, he's checked in for Robert Covington.
Well, consistency is so critical, especially in clutch moments. This guy has got that gene.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
And sometimes from the outside, not always clear what led a coach to call for a timeout.
And as you know, it's what comes after that gives you some sense of what has changed.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, B-Train.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. That has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Ryan Saunders told his team. He wants them to maintain their balanced attack, but he told them they're doing a great job of finding space out on the perimeter, which has led to all those good shots. He likes the rhythm and the flow of this offense. He just told them, keep shooting it with confidence. Kevin?
Thanks, David. Passes it to Aguilar. 4 on the clock. From deep three-point range, an absolute bomb from three-point range. That's 7 points for Mr. Moves. There's 1:40 left in the 4th quarter. And that one's good. Towns.
Oh, needing a bucket there. Towns doesn't hesitate.
Gone on a tear here in the 4th. They're 8 of 9 on field goal attempts in the quarter. And the pass to Aguilar. Back to Thompson. Here's B-Train. Back to Thompson. Lets it go from 14. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls.
Well, the versatility he possesses makes him a very tough cover, guys.
Teague hits to Wiggins. There's 1 minute left in the 4th quarter. Vonleh, the pass to Teague. Yes! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
How about the devastating shooting ability of Jeff Teague? This guy's got ice water in his veins.
Thompson passes to B-Train. Fires the 3. Drains it from beyond the arc.
Heavy incoming from beyond the arc, a key part of their initiative this entire 4th quarter.
It feels like they have worked their perimeter game to perfection, swinging the ball, cashing in from the outside. What a performance. Oh, does he deliver? That is a determined young fella right there. Come on.
Oh.
And that one sends the bench into a frenzy.
I'll tell you, these guys have worked so hard together, everyone pulling in the same direction. Beautiful to watch.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Aguilar, Towns with the defensive effort, and the Timberwolves call time here. They're behind by 2. 16 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Guys, what's your take?
And they've got plenty of time to get a basket.
Well, they've got to be aggressive, guys, because the defense doesn't want to foul here.
These guys have had some good motion on offense. Nice assistant.
And when everyone's involved offensively, it has a way of helping you on the defensive side as well.
Well, leaving no doubt on that one, the explosiveness of Cat.
Now Thompson. They could win it. Got it to fall! It went down! He got it to fall!
He did it!
Down it goes at the buzzer. Boy, it doesn't get any better than that.
You couldn't dream up a more dramatic finish. 3 points right as the buzzer sounds. This is a ball game people will be talking about for quite some time.
And so the home crowd treated to a win. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal.
And there are so many times when you see these tight games won at home, that advantage of having that crowd behind you oftentimes is the ultimate X factor.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching.